a very important video before you fill your exam application form. Must watch video. I am going to talk about something called permanent exemption. Is it best or not? I in fact made a video long ago on permanent exemption. I felt once again it is high time to remind people, especially at CA final level. You know, like for example, like many CA final students have this problem. Like they might have already got exemption in FR or AFM. 3 attempts has already lapsed. Okay, now they are in dilemma. Okay, should I go for permanent exemption and score 50 each in remaining 2 papers? This is the question, right? The biggest question here is not about FR or AFM. The biggest question here about is audit. Can I score 50 marks in audit? Like, okay, if I choose permanent exemption now in AFM or FR, as per the student, whatever the exemption they got, in the audit, instead of 40, which is the minimum, now they need to score 50. That extra 10 marks is what making the students fear. Can I score that extra 10 marks? If I choose permanent exemption, can I score the extra 10 marks? Or the student, otherwise the choice is, let me lose this exemption, once again study AFM, once again study that FR, and do score fantastic in FR or AFM, and as usual, let us target for 40 marks in audit. This is the second choice. Right? Am I right? Now, let us do a cost benefit analysis so that it's a full stop for you. I will give you, no need to even break your head. Just follow this simple cost benefit analysis which I'm going to do. Now, what is the cost of foregoing exemption? For example, you decided, let me lose this exemption. Okay, I don't want this AFM exemption. Let me lose it. Which means on the same AFM paper, once again you have to prepare. And you know very well it is 3 attempts before you got, which means almost 1.5 years before you got, or maybe at least 1 year. Am I right? Now, what is the cost of foregoing this exemption? You have to once again study that AFM, which will take minimum 100 to 150. Even I must say, for some students it will even take 200 hours. Let me write it. Even it will take 200 hours for some students. Minimum 100 if at all you're really commendable on AFM or FR earlier, and now it's just a matter of 70, 80, 100 hours for you to revise everything and again once again go and hit exemption mark. So minimum 100 hours, up to it will take 200 hours once again, because you already lost connect on the subject. So you need to spend minimum 100 to 200, but on an average, can I tell you, minimum 150 hours is what you require to once again get back connection with the subject. Look at the volume of the subject, FR especially, so voluminous. Look at the complexity involved in FR, AFM, how high complex, correct? So this is the cost that you need to incur now. Okay, assuming whatever the time you decided to spend on audit already, that's not going to change. Remaining other factors are constant. Now, by foregoing exemption on that subject, since you have to once again write minimum 100 or 150, 200 hours is what sometimes you have to spend, and in rare cases it may even cross 200 hours. What is the benefit that you get? What is the benefit that you get by losing permanent exemption? You can qualify the group including audit with just 40 marks in audit. You don't have to get 50, which means the benefit is you don't have to score extra 10 marks in audit by sacrificing permanent exemption, where you're ready to work for 150 to 200 hours already. You decided to work for 150 to 200 hours. If you already decided, this extra 10 marks in audit you don't have to work for. Yes or no? This extra 10 marks. But let us be more clear. Let us be, you are doubting yourself that you cannot score extra 10 marks. See, why are you thinking about should I go for permanent exemption or not? Because somewhere in the back of your mind, you're strongly believing, you're doubting yourself that you cannot score extra 10 marks in audit. Why you can't score extra? Why you are doubting? You are ready to work extra 100 and 150 hours, 100 to 150, 200 hours afresh. You're ready to work on AFM or FR, where you're sacrificing exemption, you're once again studying. Why can't you spend same 100, 150 hours extra? I'm not asking basic. For example, right now you have to study anyhow 150 hours audit. Let us assume for the upcoming exam, minimum 100 to 150 hours you have to study audit for securing 40 marks. This basic hours which you have to spend, whether you sacrifice exemption or not, this will not be counted. This is already a sunk cost. Means, this you decided already to spend. Am I right? Whether you claim exemption permanent or you don't claim exemption, audit some number of hours you have to dedicate. Am I right or not? Now, by dedicating this minimum number of basic hours, you are thinking 40 plus is possible. 40 is possible, correct? Now, you have extra 150 hours, right? If at all you take permanent exemption, you don't have to study that subject. Am I right? Which means, if at all you sacrifice the exemption, you have to study once again that particular subject for 150 hours, correct? Those 150 hours, what I will recommend is, leave permanent exemption. Those 150 hours also spend on audit. With this 150 hours, can't you score 10 marks extra? This is the question. Now here, can't I score? Just question yourself. Can't I score those extra 10 marks if I spend those 100 and 200 hours on audit itself additionally? This question will answer you. Now again here, some students immediately will come and tell, they'll comment, sir, the audit is not possible, sir. Institute, even no matter whatever we read, they'll put 40 only. My question to you, did you spend in one attempt, only in one attempt, these many hours on audit itself? Look at the hours which I'm telling you here. 300 hours on audit. Did you spend 300 hours on audit in any one attempt? You don't say I'm writing from past 5 attempts, or every attempt 100 I'm spending. No, only for one attempt did you spend 300 hours minimum on audit paper? Yes, here you got the answer. So right now the question is, if I lose permanent exemption, I have to spend approximately 150 hours on the last exemption paper once again to brush up the paper, revise the paper, so that in the upcoming exam you can at least score 50-60. And as usual, audit, whatever you targeted 100-150 hours, anyhow you are going to spend. And on the other paper FR, if at all you have, that anyhow you are going to spend. My question is, you just think this alternative. If I claim permanent exemption, I don't have to revisit the subject. That 150 hours will save, right? That 150 hours you spend on audit once again, can't you score extra 10 marks? Spending 150 hours on already forgotten subject once again and scoring 50-60, is that better? Spending that 150 hours additionally on audit in addition to the already decided hours. Already you decided to spend some 100-150 in the next 2 months, right? In one or 2 months, this extra 150 also added to you. Totally spend 300 hours. Can't you score 50? I'm just asking this question. You decided to spend 100-150 hours on audit and want to score 40. I'm asking you, if you spend 250 to 300 hours, can't you score 50? I'm just asking extra 10. And don't comment without doing this process earlier. Sir, I spent all this, sir, still I failed with 40. Don't comment this. Really, did you spend or not? And here, if you spend that extra 150 hours, the probability, I'm talking only about probability, logically, psychological, I'm talking probability of scoring extra 10 is easy with 150 hours, rather than once again studying 150 hours there and scoring this 40. Here, if you spend 100 to 150 hours on audit, even though no matter how productive you are, because of the vast syllabus involved, scoring 40 is very tough. But if you spend 300 hours, scoring 50 is easy. Trust me. You're spending 150 hours and try to score 40 plus, bit tough. But you're spending 300 hours and scoring 50 plus, just, it's easy. See, the double the amount, extra 150 hours, you know how many times you can thoroughly in-depth revision you can do? 3 in-depth revisions you can do with 150 hours. In-depth revisions. In addition to this 150, extra 3 more revisions you can do in-depth. That's the power. So I think there end the answer. You just comment below if at all you have any other query, or put a counter to me, whatever. Okay, but I want you to give a constructive answer to this. Okay, but for me, what logically I feel is 150 hours extra, instead of spending on that old forgotten subject, I will spend those 150 hours on audit additionally and score this extra 10 marks, which is easy for me, is what I personally feel. Maybe you might have a different opinion. I respect it. Okay, just share your opinion. That's it, guys. So the answer is clear. Now I think you can decide whether to go for permanent exemption or not. That's it.